Alright, so on with the sensor setup, sensor preparation. Here's just a little diagram of a full-size unit with a separate sensor. I'm going to hit next. And here we have, ooh, that's stout. Here we have different orientations. Looks like you can mount this thing just about any way you could possibly think of. So ours is going to be right side up, and the wire is going to be facing the front. So right here, up, FR, means up and front. So that's... Alright, so we have the correct selection here. Gyro is facing up, and the wires are facing the front. So we're going to go ahead and hit the next tab. See what is next. Alright, sensor live view. Alright, so this is where we check our compensations. So let me see, make sure I can see this on the camera. Okay, so checking the elevator. So we're going to move it quickly to the right and make sure that the little slider moves the right direction. We're going to quickly move it the other direction and make sure that the middle slider goes the other way. Then we're going to simulate a right roll and make sure that the top slider goes the correct direction. We're going to simulate a left roll, make sure that the top slider goes to the left. Then we're going to simulate a left yaw, left rudder, and make sure that the rudder moves to the left on the bottom bar, and then quick right, and everything is good there. So now we hit next and see what's up. Sensor setup is now complete. Please proceed to the Swash Plate Setup. Good deal. Okay, so next is Swash Plate Setup. Alright, so it's asking us, you'll notice I've not connected any servos to the flybars controller yet. It's asking us if we're using digital or analog. You better be using digital, so it's already highlighted. We hit next. Okay, now it's asking us the swash plate type. Ours is 120 degree swash plate. It does not look like there is a selection here for whether your elevator servo is in the front or in the back, so we're good there. We're going to leave it at 120, which is apparently default, and we're going to leave it there. Now here's a swash servo trim. This is where we're going to center the we're going to 90 the servos, 90 the horns on the servos, and set them up that way. But at this point, I need to kind of stop, and I need to go ahead and install everything on the heli. I'm going to go ahead and skip a step. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the rotor screen. I'm sorry, I'm going to move over to the tail, and I'm going to make sure that my my center pulse is set up at 1520. That way I can go ahead and plug in my rudder servo, because I want to go ahead and put everything on the heli and not have to mess with plugging or unplugging anything from this point forward. So all that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the camera. I'm going to put the heli together, mount the Pico, plug in all the servos, zip tie, tape up, make everything look pretty, and then the rest of the setup is just going to be blade pitch, setting our servo centers, and then our pitches and all that, and then we'll be ready to fly. Alright, so excuse me. Alright, so one thing I wanted to add before I go ahead and install everything on the heli is the where to plug in each servo. So with this thing, with this little Pico, it's pretty simple. So you have servo 1, 2, 3. Those are your swash servos. Regardless of swash type, the elevator servo is always servo 1. And then moving clockwise around the swash plate, you have servo 2 and servo 3. So in our case, elevator servo would be here. Okay, the left roll servo would be here, servo 2, and the right roll servo is here, servo 3, and then 4 is the rudder. Alright, so that's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and install everything on the helicopter.